Okay, it's just a test of what's been going on with SAS. Call it surround around seat. Okay, it's not finished yet. So I'm only experimenting before I get these Dayton exciters connected separately to an amplifier, and there's a lot of psychoacoustic that has to be put into it. But as using them as a bass shaker about a couple of months ago, I think used them as a bass shaker attached to the back of the seat, to the seat bucket underneath. But underneath the seat bucket I got Aura Dayton bass shaker things, so I was testing and see if they worked as a bass shaker, which they did, of course, kind of like the Dayton puck as well. That originally used to go in the seat bucket on the MDF, and so it kind of pushed in with a bit of cardboard, and then it stayed in tightly in place. There's the other ones down there that I used to use, 6 of them in the seats. So that's kind of changed the way a little bit, sort of thing. But now I thought I had an idea the other day, because I'm, listening to more of these exciters when they're just attached to things like, a piece of board, like there's a piece of board there, for example, or a piece of cardboard, large cardboard sheet, and using where it's placed, its positioning, so to speak, because there's a guy on YouTube did a video, did a lot of research, testing, experiment, because it's all trial and error what you do with these things, because they got many uses of, and then suddenly I was thinking, why don't I just stick these back on the seat and use it as a full range? So let's have a look. I'll show you. Of course, I've got my other, I was just about to show you. It's not easy at the moment because I have to do it with one channel, so it's very complicated. Because I haven't got everything rigged up yet on separate amplifiers, so I can turn things on to this and that. So I've got to go into the Crown Architecture. Here's the Architect. Oh, I had one of those other surrounds turned off over there on the other side. I forgot about that. It's okay. I had that one on. Yeah, I know I had that one, I think. Yeah, okay. I don't have to mute this one, so I can just go there and mute that. And I think it was this one here. So I'll mute this one. And this one. And I've got to go up here and undo a wire and such. Okay. Wow, that's cool. Okay, let's look at RTA. It does variable because I've done frequency measurement testing with RTA. Microphone's working. That's full range. So I would test everything on this seat, literally every angle. So I go down close, even if I go down close here, push the microphone so it's into the seat, because I will be sitting in the seat. Observe frequency from that position, it gives that characteristic. And it's all going to be randomly variable. So they will have to be on separate amplifiers so they can go a little bit above or match sensitivity levels and such. So put it up there. Of course, it's easier to do frequency sweep. I'm not doing that in this video. just do it in real time. And of course, I put the microphone above here, that angle, put it about there. Characteristic of the frequency, high frequency, so it's picking up, microphone's picking up high range, but this would need an EQ filter, and it's just simple, say, hey, widen the bandwidth out, the Q bandwidth, and then just lower some of this range down. Easy peasy. Of course, move around the seat. It's a bit more directional here at the back. So it's making that seat there. So in a way, when sound is coming down from here, the surrounds, down the side, going round to the seats up there as well, around there, typically for left half, right half surround. And if I use 7.1, I go over to that mode. And then if I go back to Dolby Stereo, connecting down to there, it's very complicated, but it's pretty directional there. But when everything else is running, the pink noise sound coming from will get the immersive. So I've got a sound here. Of course, I can shift. I can hear, you know, of course I'm pinpointing. If I had a second one, so if I were to put the date on, if I were to put, say, one over here and one over there, it will give a different sound spread. So just a pair of crocodile clip at the moment. And wow, it's quite a bit of, you know, on that seat. Now, just mute that. In fact, I'll just turn the pink noise generator off. Oh, bloody hell, what's my cat's up to? Let's turn that off. Boom. Okay. I could put that inside the seat itself. That depends on how much space there is between here and the fabric, the cushioning and such behind it. It is possible make some modification, because then it will be concealed. Of course, this will be reversed around, so it's facing, this will be on the opposite side because it will be reversed, stuck, if you know. A little bit lower down, I think a little bit lower down, there's a bit more gap space, I believe. But running it as a full range rather than just low frequency, pretty good, because it just gives it fills in a gap that I've been noticing for quite a while, that there's a gap, there's a sound in the field, particularly in the surround channels, that's kind of missing. So this is just raised the bar. I've just raised the bar, and I don't think many other home cinemas might do this. Maybe some will, and they say, yeah, these are cheap, but these aren't good. This project, such a thing, would only work on certain seats. You got to have something like a back. You got to have something for that to attach to. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Maybe a seat that you can get in behind or something and attach to the wooden frame. It depends on the seat, the design of the seat. But with real cinema seats, it makes it easier. Real cinema seats take up less floor space. You get more seating capacity, more to brag about. You get home theatre seating. They go from about here up to about, roughly about, maybe about here. They take up a little bit more, a few more inches of area. Whereas real cinema seats are, and there's a bit more to experiment with a real cinema seat. than other seating, and no one's gonna, you know, want to go messing around too much with their seats or whatever. But real cinema seats is anyway. I have to put some on that one there, but this one is attached to the left channel up here. I've got a wire going over there. It's only temporary, so I'm doing the testing and such to see where it can go, where I have to go to, what I have to get, because I don't want to go too far ahead of myself, even though I am a very, even though I am thinking way ahead, but I don't want to go too far ahead, even though I am not going too far ahead, but I do think very far ahead, because there's a lot of psychoacoustic and audiology involved with this sort of setup, because I've got to make it do maybe several things, which is going to be pretty tricky. So that one's just connected up to one of the surrounds, but I think it's connected to that one there actually, up there, and the wire up here I think it goes over that one. It's connected up there, but they're all separately powered. But some of the sound that's coming into it, the bass midfield, the directional, or the full range sound spectrum, so to speak, it's almost given me, with certain sounds in the monomatrix surround, it almost gives because the sound field's going up to this level, because I've proved it, I've shown it with the microphone, moving it up high and such. Of course, the back row here, let's have a look, get it a little bit further back. Oops, almost tripping over cables there. Got to be careful, because I've got wires all over the cable, all over the place. I think it's easier if I demount this. No, none of that. Let's move that generator out of the way. Of course, don't forget, I will be hearing most of the other sound coming from the side surrounds. That's why I've got to turn everything on, balance the levels and so forth. So it's a very complicated thing. Back here, it's not bad. It's not a bad frequency response. And it's going up to about 20,000. Bit of a roll off, but hey, it's going up that range. And of course, when I've got all the other ones fitted to the seats, oh yeah, it's going to be pretty good. I've just raised the bar. I don't think many home cinemas will be doing it, but I think once they get it around a little bit, other home cinemas are going to be forcing and changing and upgrading, and you know. Anyway, I'm going to connect up all the other channels back up. Connect this one back up. Okay, let's the other surround speakers connected back up. So I remember what the I recall what the frequency response looked like. So if I even put the microphone sort of there, it had a certain characteristic, because that one will be connected up now. Back up. It's going to sound loud. Oh yeah, pink noises when I'll just unmute it. I think I'll just turn the fader down a little bit and I'll turn it up. And of course, feel that. So if I stand behind it, seat behind it, I can hear it. I can also hear that, and hear that there, and wow, Of course, there's other things to do, because when it's connected to the other amplifier, the other crown amplifier, which it's going to be very tricky, but I'm already thinking ahead. I can adjust the phase or time delay, or the phase or time delay. I think it's time delay. Give it a couple of millisecond adjustments, because you can do very fine adjustment on the crown. Wow, that's pretty good. Anyway, so that's part of the SAS surround around seat, and it's going to be pretty awesome when it's fully operational seating battle station.